The Tekken series has existed since the mid-1990s, so for some new to the franchise the timing and events of the story might be a bit confusing. Unlike some other fighting games, this one had a deep plot involving the trials and tribulations of what is possibly one of the most dysfunctionally dramatic families in all of gaming. The first game kicks off the story of when Kazuya is 5 and gets chucked down by a mountain by his father. The sequel picks up 2 years later and follows the story of Kazuya running his father's business. Somehow he and the company have become more corrupt before. Tekken 3 maintains the same core fighting system and concept as its predecessors. Three-dimensional movement is insignificant in previous Tekken games, but Tekken 3 adds emphasis on the third axis by allowing characters to sidestep in or out of the background. This was a player versus player style game with the playstyle of Tekken 3 where teams of 2 fought against one another. In addition to having the characters from Tekken 3, the game has characters from Tekken 2 as well. The fourth installment in the series takes place 2 years after the events of the third main entry. The story follows good old Heihachi doing biogenetic experiments and finding that the son he threw into a volcano 2 decades prior may not be as dead as he expected. This game picks up right where the previous left off, with Jin having left his father and grandfather out cold. Heihachi is actually absent for most of the game here, with somebody completely different and surprising organizing the tournament this time. That figure proves to be none other than Jinpachi, father of Heihachi and great-grandfather to Jin. While Jinpachi is nowhere near as cruel as his son, he does come with a catch. Possibly the most dramatic of all the games, Tekken 6 takes place a few years after Jin defeated his grandfather Jinpachi and took over the Mishima Zaibatsu company. After seeing the way that his father and grandfather were, one would think that Jin would at least attempt to not become corrupt. This follows the same format as the original tag tournament, but it now features almost every character from the other games instead of just the ones from 2 and 3. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 is generally not considered canon, although some endings are referenced in Tekken 7. The main story focuses on Heihachi, powered by a rejuvenation serum, staging a new King of Iron Fist tournament. Tekken 7 starts the story of Heihachi Mishima from the beginning. In the first Tekken, we see him throwing his son off a cliff to test his power, but nobody ever explains why. Tekken 7 goes into Heihachi's upbringing as the son of famous martial artist Jinpachi Mishima. Heihachi overthrew his father and locked him underground where he left him to die. This game also explains the fate of Heihachi's wife Kazumi, mother to his son Kazuya.